funeral is about to begin, sir.
This time we are going back to the 70s. The movie's called Phantasm. It stars Michael Baldwin, Bill Thornby, Reggie Bannister, Kathy Lester, Angus Scrimm. It was written, directed, and produced by Don Coscarelli. And it was an independent film, much like my favorite Evil Dead. So Coscarelli was in his early 20s, and he figured he needed about $300,000 to make the movie, and he really didn't have much. He went around to doctors and lawyers who ended up financing the movie. He also made another film earlier than this. So Phantasm, a lot of people think, is his first movie, and it really wasn't. Kenny and Company, which was supposed to be a comedy. Now, Kenny and Company did star Michael Baldwin and Reggie Bannister. Well, maybe not star, but they were in it. But he was told that what you need to do is make horror movies, because horror movies always make back what you spent. Way truer then than now, for sure. I mean, back then, like I said, $300,000 made Phantasm. Look what John Carpenter did with, no money.
The idea for Phantasm was very simple, which was, I said to myself, Don, I need to set a movie in a mausoleum and in a mortuary. It's a really creepy place to do a movie. If I could come up with a scenario that worked in that environment, I think it could be a good movie. And I couldn't think of a film set in a mortuary, certainly not a current movie at that time.
There's some very notable Hollywood people that are really big fans of this movie, one of them being J.J. Abrams. He contacted Coscarelli. He wanted to get one of the older original prints for it, but he wanted to have an actual screening of it at Bad Robot, and Coscarelli told him, I'm sorry, the negatives are in a pretty bad state, and we don't really have, a really good copy for you to do that with. So Bad Robot, and led by J.J. Abrams, decided that he was going to supervise a full restoration of the movie, but not just a restoration. It was a 4K restoration of the movie, which I'm told looks fantastic. I have not seen it, but I'm told it looks fantastic.
What we gotta do is lay that sucker out flat and drive a stake right through his goddamn heart.
You're gonna run that tall bastard straight down to hell.
You play a good game, boy. But the game is finished. Now you die.
Phantasm. Jodie Pearson is 24 years old, and he is raising his younger brother, Mike, who's 13 years old. The movie takes place in Oregon. It's a small town because that's how they always make these movies, right? There seems to be a lot of mysterious deaths of citizens. One guy, an ice cream vendor named Reggie, he agrees that there's something wrong, and they're suspicious of this character called the Tall Man, who is the local mortician, and they believe he's responsible for the deaths that are happening in the town. Mike starts getting chased by these minions of the Tall Man. I love the word minion. I wish I had minions. They're about 4 foot each, and they're chasing Mike. Now, keep in mind, Mike's a 13-year-old kid, right? He goes and talks to Jodie and Reggie, and Jodie and Reggie are like, listen, you're 13. They don't believe him. They think he's just, hallucinating, or he's just under a lot of pressure, and he's kind of going. Well, first, Reggie and Jodie find these strange containers, and they don't really know what they are. And at the same time, Mike finds a gateway to another planet. When he's there, for the brief few moments he's there, he sees that the deceased townspeople, who are now shrunken down, who have been chasing him, are being used as slaves on this other planet.
Slaves? They're using them for slaves. The dwarves. And they gotta crush them because of the gravity.
they encountered a tall man. Reggie gets stabbed. Mike and Jody barely make it. They do escape, but they barely make it out. And they decide that they need to find a way to stop the tall man. You know, it's a small town outside in Oregon, and there's a deserted mine. They decided we're going to lure him into the mine and we'll trap him inside. It works. They trap him inside. And Mike wakes up and he's lying by the fireplace at his house. And Reggie's there now all of a sudden. Reggie's sitting next to Mike and he's talking to Mike and he says, listen, you just had a nightmare. And he goes, ever since your brother Jody died in a car crash, you've had these nightmares. Now Mike's confused, right? Is Jody dead? Is Jody alive? What's going on? So Mike's like, okay, I'm gonna go to my room. So Mike walks into his room and the tall man's waiting there for him. This one was always one of my favorites, and it's creepy as hell. But yeah, for some reason, everyone always just thinks of it as, oh, it's the Ball of Death. Well, no, it's not really. It's in the top 100 of scariest movie lists for a lot of places. Time Out London has it as number 75. Bravo has it as number 25. The post-production of this movie was hell. It was in post-production for over a year. He had heavily cut the film from what was originally shot. I've never seen what was originally shot. I don't know if it's out there. I'm sure it's on some DVD special set or something. It was cut down a lot, and that's what gave it that fractured, dreamlike structure that it has. He'd also shot and written and shot several different endings for the movie. One of them ended up being used in Phantasm 4. The name Phasma was a little homage to it. So there's a little thing for you. There's Phantasm 2, Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead, Phantasm 4, Oblivion, and Phantasm Ravager, which was 2016. It's a very well-made movie for $300,000, so you really should watch it. Highly recommend it. So anyways, I appreciate all the support, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you check out Phantasm.
I'm just a-sitting here at midnight, and I've been sitting here till noon. You see, my lady left me lonely. Yes, she did. Baby left me blue.